Hi, guys and gals. How do we sell cybersecurity and IT to our own company when they don't want to spend money on it? That's something that every IT executive and cybersecurity executive has to figure out. In order to get budget to do what we want to do, or what we need to do to protect the company and serve the company, we need to present a proposal or a reason for that expenditure. We have to present a budget for that plan in order to get budget dollars for it. Now, one hurdle that I've seen at a lot of companies I've worked with, and kind of how to overcome it, is still ongoing, but I'll give you kind of an example of what I do. So, a lot of companies that are mid-sized enterprises are used to doing big capital expenditures, buying warehouses, buying factories, buying other businesses, buying trucks, buying cranes, buying front-end loaders and skid steers and forklifts and things like that. They're used to buying that stuff, and they spend incredible amount of money on that stuff every year. Growing in that stuff is normal because they know, as they should, as business owners, they're building capacity for production, and as long as their sales guys are selling, then they are able to make more money. So all of that investment just makes more money for them. IT and cybersecurity in general doesn't. They don't understand it, number one, but it's not something they can lay hands on like a forklift. While they will spend $100,000 on a skid loader with all its attachments, or a track loader, but not invest in cybersecurity or IT for $20,000. So there's a big disparity there, and a lot of it comes from, I think, just background. They're kind of, even when they're younger, but it's been passed down to them through generations, or they're just in that kind of business. Let's say it's a contracting business or excavating business or a warehouse and logistics business or trucking business. They're used to computers being there for billing, for doing quotes, etc. But it's not what they consider core to their business. Core to their business is that front end loader. Core to their business is that warehouse. The logistics system that runs on a computer behind the scenes doesn't seem like core to them. To us, it is. We know that a logistics company can't run without its logistics systems. Those IT systems are the bread and butter, the crown jewels for that organization. That's what they need in order to survive. That excavating company, may not put any value in the IT systems that are running their quote and estimating software, running their planning software and their project scheduling software and their billing. So yes, they can still go and dig holes with a front end loader, or an excavator, but they aren't going to, do anything efficiently. They're not going to be able to make new sales and quote effectively. They're not going to be able to bill effectively. So a lot of companies have growing dependence, and they're constantly buying new software, and because there's new stuff in their industry that is going to help them make even more money better. But yet these aren't critical systems to them, so they don't want to spend money on IT. And they don't consider that an investment, they consider that as a cost. Now, I understand that because it's basically correct. However, there's a way we can change the thinking around, because IT and cybersecurity are still absolutely necessary. It's not like you can cut this cost. It is core to your business. IT is core to your business. Regardless of what business you have, it's at the core. So we can't cut costs on necessities. We can choose lower cost options, but there are some things you need. You need email and messaging, and collaboration. You need, some place to put documents. You need some way to bill customers, some way to do quotes. Like there's just facts of life around these systems. So how do we tell the business about these? Well, we need to tell them about the expenditures to defend that business process's value, or to defend that IT asset's value, or that data asset. So let's say a logistics system. How many millions of dollars does a logistics company do every year? Let's say it's a $400 million logistics company. Everything goes through that logistics system, and that logistics company wouldn't be able to process anything without it. Orders, billing, everything is going through that logistics system. Inventory, etc. Where loads are, what loads are requested. If that system was down, that's a $400 million loss. That company cannot operate until it gets another logistics program in place, figures out a painful manual method to start processing stuff, orders out, but it's going to be bad because they don't even know where their inventory is manually. And if they did know where it is manually, they're not going to be able to schedule effectively. They're going to have a line of trucks at the door when they only have 8 bays. They'll have 42 trucks show up waiting for their order. So this is a $400 million piece of software. This is This is a necessity to support a $400 million business, is how I would explain it. So that piece of software that may be $1 million a year is to support a $4 million piece of software. So it's $400 million piece of software. So it is now its value can be captured in relation to the business. Let's say you're an excavation company, and all the sales quotes and estimations go through this system. All the project planning goes through this system. What is our DR plan? Let's just think about if there is no IT anymore, how do we do this by hand? Somebody's got to write up orders, sell them, bring them back, bill them, schedule them by hand. More possible with a smaller excavating company than it is with a large logistics company. So how do we handle this with an excavating company? Because, it's almost like IT is a convenience there. It is. It's a business enabler. So how big was the company when they were doing it more manually? Or how much effectiveness, how much efficiency? And you can do this a part of your DR planning. If you had to do everything manually, what would your throughput be? Instead of $1 million a month, you may be looking at, $250,000 a month, because you're slowed down so much. Okay. So then that's a, $750,000 a month piece of software that you're supporting, basically. So then if your IT spend, if you need $5,000 worth of hardware in order to back it up properly, then it makes sense when you're comparing that to your spend for the entire company, for supporting that software that is really saving them $750,000 a month in throughput, or buying them $750,000 a month throughput. So in summary, the way to talk about IT and cybersecurity to the business is not by saying you have a vulnerability, you need this widget. It's by saying you have a $10 million asset that you need to spend $5,000 to protect. You have a $400 million asset that you need to spend $1 million to protect. That's how to communicate that to the business. You have a business process that is based on IT and is on servers that are going to fail and has no cybersecurity. You have a $400 million asset that you need $1 million of budget to take care of. That is how you communicate it to the business. Thanks, guys. Bye.